Did you listen to that where Bob said the definition of discipline is giving yourself a command and being able to follow it? If you can't do that, you got to have a coach. You got to be accountable.
Some people do believe that they can do it on their own, but they don't have the discipline to do that.
Well, the problem with also doing it alone is when you get stuck, where do you turn?
I mean, I can speak to that because when I started the course and the first one's attitude, I was like, okay, this is great. And I was very lucky that I had a coach because that one was good. I was like, okay, this is a great start. I understand. I get to choose that, my day is positive. And no, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. There are things that happen. But once I realized, oh, I control my attitude in this situation, that was a huge learning curve.
Or just the opposite, the attitude controls you.
Yeah,
That's brutal.
that's scary. I was like,
I'll never forget that. My mentor told me that on so many occasions. You control it or it controls you. And it can be so many.
so many things. It can be a monster.
It can. To the point where you self-destruct.
Yes.
In due course. I mean, like you can watch it unfold like a movie. It's like, how is this happening? Like in slow motion. And it's like, because you do not have control. But in all actuality, with the right attitude, you do have full control.
Yes. And I think that was what was important of having someone alongside of me was that it was just another realization that what I was thinking was correct or how I was thinking was okay. And I think it's because of the paradigm of being the people
Mm.
pleaser. And so for me, having a coach was important because it's not like I needed to be told, hey, you're doing a good job or hey, I'm proud of you. It was like, am I allowed to feel this way? Is this okay?
Yeah. Well, and to your point, some people it is recognition of that pat on the back. I'm dealing with a situation right now. As a matter of fact, this morning on the way here, somebody quit
Oh
their job.
no.
Well,
Oh, their
yeah,
job. Oh,
yeah, they
I
quit.
thought you meant the chorus. I
Not
was
the
like,
chorus.
what? How dare they?
Haven't met anybody that's done that yet. No, they quit their job, and whenever I chose to involve myself into it, which it really wasn't my company and it really wasn't my problem, but I'm a outsider to it. I know the players. Okay. I asked the question, what really drove this? And it was recognition. It wasn't money. This individual had chosen, again, wasn't asked, chosen to put in sometimes 12, 11, 12, 13-hour days to get his, in a very high stressful situation, to get his roles and responsibilities done, expecting, or in my terminology, assuming
Uh-oh.
he was going to get a raise or a bonus or a pat on the back. Instead, he got no raise, got criticized.
What?
Yeah. So I felt it. My job was to notify the powers that be that I'm sure you're shocked by the resignation letter that came in last night, but this is fixable.
Mm.
This is solvable. And I'm dealing with ignorance, pure and simple.
And I feel like ignorance kind of has a bad rap.
Most people think it's a bad word. I remember when I first called somebody ignorant, they were taken back by that. I said, "Why are you taken back by that?" "Well, that's just rude to call me ignorant." I'm like, "To call you unaware?" Like, it's pretty simple. By your own admission, you're unaware. That's ignorance. They thought it was stupidity. Has nothing to do with it. Big difference.
Huge difference.
And that's where we get into so much trouble with this idea of change, is because most people think it will just happen on its own. It will not happen on its own. What will happen is it'll continually be the same over and over and over and over again until a bigger idea or a bigger paradigm is replaced with that old paradigm or habit, as I like to refer to it. So, part of coaching is maybe I see something you don't see. And maybe it's my responsibility to bring it out and say, "Hey, Courtney, You're seeing tunnel vision. I
Mhm.
need you to look a little bit wider. I give you another good example. How to this, it's every day. When you're aware, this stuff, you have so many examples. It's like, it's because I'm aware.
Right.
There's so much ignorance in the world that it's easy to find these what I call test studies. But an individual told me the other day, they said, I don't agree with you, this course of action that you're taking. I said, okay, noted. And they repeated themselves. I don't agree with it. I said, yeah, heard you the first time. Third time, I still need you to know that I don't agree with this course of action that you're taking. I said, okay, do I sound like I'm not listening? Because I hear you completely. He goes, yes, but you're not changing your way. I said, I'm not going to change my way because I'm coming from a place of awareness and you're coming from a place of ignorance. You're letting fear, jealousy, all these other emotions drive your decision towards this situation. I'm not. I'm crystal clear with no emotion. Well, I think you're going to find it's a mistake. I said, okay, I'll be the first one to admit that that was a mistake and I'll apologize and I'll take full responsibility for it. 2 hours later, we sat down to eat and he sat right next to me and he goes, you're right. I was wrong. I said, I wasn't trying to be right. I just know some things because I'm aware, not because I got a high IQ and not because I'm smarter than the next person in the room. I said, you got so much over me as far as knowledge in certain areas of life. But I said, in this area, I knew exactly what I was doing.
Mhm.
And you need to trust the process.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times my mentor told me that. Trust the process. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes that means blind faith.
There is an amount of blind faith that does go into it, but number one is making the decision to better yourself. And number two, when you do make the decision to join the course, beautiful things start to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me when you say join the course. I remember whenever I was asked by my mentor to come to a course, I could still see it clear in my mind. And I was questioning him. I told him about the money. I said, I don't really have the money for the course right now. And he goes, how much longer of your life are you going to say that?
Oh,
Brutal.
yeah.
He goes, I'm fine with you not coming to the course. My question is, why don't you have the money for the course? And how many more years are you going to continue to say that? He goes, at some point, you need to start doing things differently so you don't have to continue to say that.
The more that you're stopping yourself on your finances and ignoring those problems, those are years wasted that you could have been just flourishing if you would have just changed your mindset.
Well, and I'll never forget my coach. And again, we're talking about coaching and the importance of a coach. Accountability is a big part of it,
Huge.
but so is getting unstuck. Because I remember one time he told me, he says, you don't understand money, do you?
Mm.
I said, yeah, I understand money. He goes, no, you don't. He says, you have a completely ignorant opinion and understanding of, and he pulled out his wallet and showed me $100 bill of this. He goes, describe this to me. He goes, wait a second. Before you describe this to me, define attitude. Ignorant person, what do you say? I said, well, it's either good or bad. It's either positive or negative. That's not attitude. It's a culmination of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions equals your results. And your results regarding money are terrible. Now, explain this to me. I couldn't. I can now, but then I couldn't. And he just goes, it's paper with ink and a dead president.
Yes.
He goes, the definition I'm looking for is it is a item to be used in exchange.
Mm.
He said, you just pull out a $20 bill and go to Starbucks and get yourself a latte and get some change, hopefully, and you go. That's your definition of money. Mine is that it is meant to be in circulation. Problem with you is it circulates away from you instead of towards you like me. That's what you don't understand about money. He goes, you got more month than you got money. He goes, I got more money than I got month. That's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the course will teach you.
Yeah.
And that's also what a coach will teach you.
Yeah.
So, as you're entering this journey of the 7 levels of awareness, don't be afraid to ask for a coach. You're not going to get a bill, but you're going to be told some hard truths. You're going to maybe get stuck and have a coach unstick you. You're going to maybe try and lie to the coach that you did 14 straight days in a row when actually we know you didn't. So, coach can be good, but go into it with the idea that you're a future coach. Because once you learn the 7 levels, there's only one way that I've found to maintain them, and that's to teach them.
I love that.
There's magic in that.
There's magic in giving back, which is the whole process of how this even got started.
And exactly what we're here to do. We're here to be an exchange of service.
Yeah.
But most people get caught up in that idea of trading time for dollars.
Yes.
And there's only 24 hours a day.
I know. I tried to extend it. It didn't work.
I tried to add a day, but that didn't work either to the week. Again, one of the biggest lessons that a coach taught me was if you're not getting enough pie, bake a bigger pie.
Love it.
If your slice ain't big enough, then bake a bigger pie and cut a bigger slice for yourself. Where I was always like, can I have a second slice? No, there's only so many slices and there's so many people here. Yeah, but I'm hungry. I want another slice. Well, bake another pie.
It's just that whole mindset, right? Of just that shift of, okay.
Well, you're a good example of that. I mean, I think there was a point in time where we said, I need to enlist your services for a small project that turned into a second project that turned into a third project. And now every single time I talk to you, all I ever hear is, I got another project. I got another project. I got another project. It's like,
You make it sound like such a bad thing.
right, it is, because they don't have enough time for my projects now.
No.
But that's the magic to what we started in this collaborative is if you help me, I'll help you. And we did that. That's called an exchange of service.
And it's taken off.
And I didn't say how much, and you didn't say how much. We just trusted the process. And then all of a sudden you told me, oh, I got a check in the mail. I came home and there was a check in the mail. And and I think you told me again, I got another check in the mail. That's understanding money.
Yeah.
That's whenever you go to sleep and you're still being paid. That's a big deal.
And I think that was the thing too, is like that mindset and that shift of, I am abundant, being grateful for the abundance, whether I actually tangibly had it or not.
Yep.
Understanding it was an energy, not something that I needed to actually have.
Yeah. Well, again, most people think money's supposed to be stuffed under the mattress.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah. It's designed to be in circulation. And the reason people stuff it in the mattress is because there's not enough circulation in their life, because they don't understand.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's ignorance. It's not bad. It just is.
Yeah.
So,
and there's nothing wrong with it. It's awareness.
What's wrong with it is if you do nothing about your ignorance.
Yes, that is very true.
So you had a choice. You could have said, no, thank you, to the offer of coaching. You could have easily just as blurted out, not a good time for me right now. Right?
Yeah.
But what was happening in your life? Were you on top of the world? Was everything going great, or was there some holdback? Was there some old paradigms that were messing with your future?
At the time?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Just like I want to call it like a rat race. Like I just kept chasing my tail and was stressed and insecure and kept thinking like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I not succeeding? I have a good, in my head, I had a good attitude. I was doing everything right, but nothing was coming to me. And then it shifted. You said yes to coaching me, and one opportunity led to another, which then led me to really think like, I create my consistency.
Right.
I create the energy.
Yeah.
And as soon as
Well,
I
that's called
realized that,
responsibility. When you say
oh,
I, you're taking responsibility. But my point is, with all the mayhem that was going on in your life, it would have been just so easy to go, "Hey, thank you for the opportunity, but now it's not a good time. My life is just crap."
yeah. Oh
Right?
my
You
gosh.
easily could have just said, "No, not a good time." And for whatever reason, maybe it was reading the book first. I don't know. But for whatever reason, you said yes. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, "Not a good time." Uh,
Really?
every single week I hear it, and I'm not out there actually selling. They're coming to me with their problems and I give them a solution, but it's not a good time for the solution. But I
Mm,
thank you for hearing my problems. But I'm like, well, the problems haven't gone away. You just talked about them.
yeah.
You got to shift the paradigms. You got to change the habits. You got to replace the thoughts. You got to change your attitude. You got to take responsibility. You got to be more self disciplined. You got to make decisive decisions. La, 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 la. Well, to them, that's just,
Too much? Oh, I can't. I have this, that, and
yeah,
the
that's just
other.
overwhelming.
Or
Yeah.
but.
You know what I love about the medical community, and I've got one of the greatest concierge doctors in the world. He sees patients. He's also was Bob Proctor's personal doctor, and that's how we met in Vegas. But he says, I can't begin to tell you how many people come to me with the most ungodly amount of money to fix them. And he says, I can't help you. I'm like, what? And he goes, they don't want to be helped. They just want to be fixed.
Oh, that's deep.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And so he also says, I only have so much time in a day. So I got to be a little bit, particular about what I do take on. But he says the majority of these people coming in want a quick fix and they'll throw any amount of money on it, but they don't want to learn anything about the discipline, about the responsibility, about how they got here, about how they're never going to come back to this place again. They don't want to hear any of it. Here's the money, fix me. And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'll find somebody that can possibly help you, but I can't because they've made it abundantly clear they're not interested in help. They're interested in quick fix.
Yeah.
With the mind, sorry, doesn't. There is no pill. There is no tonic. There's not even a seminar that you can attend for the fix.
Yeah.
It's repetition is the mother of all learning. Period. Full stop.
Repetition, you're like, oh, okay, like I've read a book more than once, but reading or listening to the same message over and over again with my mornings. And then and now it's to the point where I'm like, oh, if I'm in between lessons, because I want to do like a reflection, I'm like, oh, what do I do? I need something to repeat during the day or on
Right.
my walk. And so I'll be like, okay, well, I'll go back and I'll listen to the ones that I've done before. But repetition it
King.
is
King. It's
beautiful.
king. It's funny. I'm looking right past you, and there's a stack of books there, and there's one by Simon Sinek right there called The Infinite Game. Great book. However, reading it and putting it down and thinking you own that knowledge is a lie. Good example is one time Bob gave me a book by uh, Troward, and I cherished it. It was old, first edition, and he goes, now I've marked this up. I've underlined a lot of stuff in here. And as I was reading the book, I was reading his underlines, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I go to the next page, and there's no underline, and something made sense to me. And so I'm highlighting it because I didn't want to go over his. But he had a line, and he had a star, and then he had a note. So he really devoured this book, I guess you could say. Not a thick book. Anyway, about 6 to 7 years after reading that book and highlighting it, I picked it back up, and I'll never forget this. I turned to my wife and I said, why did you highlight this book? Why didn't you use a different? I never read that book. I'm like, I didn't highlight this. And I remember calling Bob and telling him, I'm like, someone broke into my house, grabbed this book off of the 1,000 books on my bookshelf, and they highlighted this book without me knowing it. He goes, no. He goes, the guy that underlined or highlighted those is not the same guy.
Oof. There it is again.
He goes, that's why you continuously read over, over, and over again, because that person shows back up a month or a year or a decade later is not the same person.
That's so stunning though. It's energetic.
Yeah, it is, but it's also it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
I'll also talk to you too, real quick. I'm also a big believer of vision boards,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never forget. There was a point in my time. Again, it was probably 1990s, mid 90s. I had put a Porsche Targa, red one, on my vision board. And you know, when you look, a vision board sometimes just becomes part of the art on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, the first month you're looking at it every day and you're meditating and you're imagining and you're visualizing. And somewhere around the, 3 years down the road, it's like, oh, someone walks in and goes, oh, that's a vision board. And you're like, oh, yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's mine. It's been there for 3 years. Anyway, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm on a conference call and I look up at the vision board after like 3 years. And I called my wife up and I said, did you take down my red Targa off of my vision board and put up this blue purple cabriolet? Because I haven't touched, just like the book, I haven't touched your vision board. Because down in the garage was a Zenith blue cabriolet Porsche that I'd purchased about a year earlier.
Get out.
I swear to you today, right here and now, always wanted and put a red Targa on that vision board. Or did I?
Oh.
Because I don't remember what magazine I cut it out of. But all I knew was I wanted a red Targa. On that vision board was a purple cabriolet convertible, and down in the garage was a Zenith blue purple cabriolet.
That is crazy.
Right? So again, trust the process.
Yeah.
I had a coach that said, don't focus on the car so much, focus on the why.
Ooh, I like that.
And then whenever I went down, and I do remember this, when I went down to the Porsche dealership, I went to, I'm 6'5". I went to get into the 1994 Targa, and my head didn't fit. It hit the roof. And I'm like, oh my God, my dream is shot, right? And it wasn't, I don't think it was red either, but it was a Targa. But anyway, I was all bummed, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to fit in this 1994 Targa. And the guy goes, hey, we just got a truckload in of cabriolets. You want to try that? And I slid in like a glove.
It was like, hello.
Yes.
You've been waiting for me.
And it was like the head red. I had 2 inches of head space between the top, and I'm like,
Meant to
sold.
be. Oh my God.
But it was Zenith blue, and it was just like that on the board. So, the power of the mind is something that shouldn't be messed with.
Mm-mm.
It's very, very powerful. And if you can get a control of it, like your emotions and your reactions and not worry about all those other, types of things like fear and, just like a mistake. I was always so afraid to make a decision of making a mistake. And I remember Bob telling me, he goes, there's no such thing as a mistake. There's good decisions and there's bad decisions. He goes, now, if you're making a bad decision on the same subject over and over and over and over again, that's a mistake. But he says you should make a decisive decision. And if it's a bad decision, you should say, I'll never do it again. That's knowledge. That's learning.
That's growth.
That's growth. Yeah.
Wow.
So these are the things that I know we got off track a little bit, but these are things that a coach can really help you with whenever you're going on this journey.
And the beauty, because I'm only on the third
Third level. Yep.
And my coach has helped me so much. I'm so grateful for
Aspiration.
Yes.
Yep.
But all of the coaches have already gone through the levels.
Yep.
So that's, it's comforting.
Well, and they have their own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like one coach may have a great story about aspiration where my big story was responsibility,
right,
where somebody else's may be something else. But just know that we're grooming you to be a coach. So it's so important that you take these life lessons with you because they're going to be told again somewhere, and they're going to make a big difference on somebody's life. Another good example was when Bob was telling me about the aspiration level, and he goes, most people want to have the Porsche, and they want to have the house, and they want to have the platinum card, and they want to have the vacations, and they've got have down, but they'll never talk to you about what they've got to be.
Oh,
Yeah. Human beings is what we're referred to, not human havers.
definitely not.
But if you get out on the freeway system like I did this morning to come out here to meet you, there's a lot of doers out there. And I ask myself, what are you doing? There's so many of you sitting here on the freeway. Are you all going to a podcast? I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to have a normal life, most likely. They're going to go do something to pay the rent or put the kid through college or to make the house payment or make the car payment, whatever it is. And I always ask myself what Bob would always say: it only matters what you're becoming. The do and the have will always be there, but if you're not going to deal with the be factor, it's be, do, have, not have, do, be.
So going on that with because I was like, oh, well, I'm a doer, but I'm not a doer then.
Well, it depends. Is what you're doing giving you the results that you desire? Most likely, no.
I see.
So what you're doing now is you're becoming more. You're being aware. You're being committed to becoming a better Courtney
Mm-hmm.
from the inside out rather than the outside in.
Right.
And that takes repetition. That takes time. The course you're on takes 21 days minimum, not 22, not 19, 21 minimum. And then it's not over because I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to bring something out in you, or it already started to bring some stuff out of you. And you're probably starting to say, I got some questions about this. What does this mean? I can't tell you how many times I called Bob and I don't get this. I don't understand this. You're not done with the repetitions.
Yep.
Keep going. The answer will surface. And that's like sometimes he'll just say something to me. I'm like, oh my God, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting ready to ask you. When the student's ready, the teacher appears always.
I love it. Well, and I think that that's the beauty of the podcast, or sorry, that's the beauty of the community that you've
Mm-hmm.
built, because I know halfway through, that is when I start to get my questions and things pop up.
Yep.
Go to the board, write it in.
Yep.
Sometimes the coach responds, or a lot of the times it's other people that are in the same kind of area
Yep.
that I'm in responding. And then, of course,
And you got diverted from a lesson from the next one
I did.
because of where'd you get sent to? What lesson you get
It
sent
was in between 1 and 2.
And you got what lesson?
I got to lesson 2, and then
Wasn't
took a break. I think I got to
right, but
day
what did you study?
11, and then I studied serenity.
Serenity. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what? Oh,
There's over, I think last time I checked my library, there's over 700 lessons.
really?
We focus on 7. There's over 700.
Oh, I would believe it.
Yeah. Because, we found that the 7 levels are about as basic as you can get for all walks of life.
Yeah.
11-year-olds all the way up to 90-year-olds. Anybody that wants to change, you're going to find your level of where you're at. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you can get to the next level without learning a couple other things along the way. And for you, serenity was probably that stepping stone of calm down to speed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was also in between 2 and 3 was the rule of gender
Mm.
and gestation. Wow,
Everything.
was that a
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I think in the book we write that as the 9/11 for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think that that's what's so beautiful about it, is that yes, there is the outline of it, but each person gets to do it their own way, and that's what I'm so grateful that I had a coach
Yeah.
and have a coach to help me, because if I have questions or if I'm overthinking things, there's someone that knows exactly where I am, has been through it, and that's special.
And see, I get a lot of joy with the thought that somehow, somewhere, someday you're going to pay that forward.
Mm.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It really is, because I look back, I'm going to guess that there's probably close to probably just under 10,000 graduates, 7 levels of awareness over the past 10 years.
Amazing.
And still to this day, I'll get a phone call from somebody that will say, "Look, it may not mean that much to you right now, but you know, I have everything in my life because of you." And it's like, look, it's not because of me; it's because of what I made available to you by somebody else.
Mm.
Whether that was Bob Proctor, or whether that was Leland, whether it was someone. I don't know where Leland came up with it, but somebody had to tip him off about it. I'm gonna guess it will reveal itself someday. But this is just information that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And you know, yeah, a coach or a mentor makes it so much easier that can say, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And so kudos to you for hanging in there. So level 4 is coming up.
Coming up.
How many days you got left?
2 more.
2.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah. When I finished all 7 levels, I was so hungry for more. And I'll never forget Bob's advice to me. I said, come on, level 8. What's level 8? What's next? And he goes, what's next is level 1. Because the guy that took level 1 ain't the same guy anymore. Go back and take it again. I'm like, what? He goes, teach it, but go back through it. He goes, don't ever ask somebody to do something you're not willing to do yourself.
So do you do the
Yes.
levels with?
Yes. If I take somebody brand new as a client, I'll go through it, like especially the kids,
Yeah.
especially the teenagers. Rob's son that I told you about on an earlier podcast, I took it with him, and I texted him, and he texted me every day. And
Love it.
sometimes, thank God he did, because I was forgetting.
No.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have the course set up now where you get the
Right.
you get the reminder kind of thing, So that's another reason for importance for a coach is, if they're going to go through it with you. And again, some people say, well, how many times have you taken Attitude? Over 1,000. Easy.
Mm.
I've taken it over 1,000 times. Primarily because I'm not the same person that took it the first time or the 999th time. Yeah. It's just, it's always different for me because I'm in a different place in my life. And a lot of people, I remember I tell Bob, I said to him one time, I said, God, you're so lucky. He goes, what did you say? And I'm like, oh no, think before you speak. And he goes, there's no such thing as luck. He goes, I've been reading this stuff for 55 years nonstop every day. There's no luck in that. That's skill. He goes, I'm an expert because I've forced myself every single day to be self-disciplined in reading Think and Grow Rich. Maybe not cover to cover, and maybe not page by page, but every single day I'll repetitiously read a paragraph. And I haven't stopped for 55 years. There's no luck in that. And I'm thinking, oh God, could you have said anything more stupid? And I look back at people that have said to me like, oh, you get to fly here and you get to do this and you get to do that. It's like, whoa. That's earned.
Yeah.
That's not by taking advantage of anything or anybody. That is earned from what I say, again, the universe being precise. You are in service long enough to as many people as we have been. You have to be rewarded. It's law. Maybe not in the form of money, but you have to be rewarded. And maybe money is part of it.
Mm.
But that's just law. So, it's a great thing to be a part of, but it's also a great thing to teach others. Same thing.
Yeah. It's the energy.
It is all energy, vibration.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, you're vibrating right now.
We are live.
Yeah.